A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 28, verses 8 to 15. Passage taken from the Message version of the Bible. The women, deep in wonder and full of joy, lost no time in leaving the tomb. They ran to tell the disciples. Then Jesus met them, stopping them in their tracks. "Good morning," he said. They fell to their knees, embraced his feet, and worshipped him. Jesus said, "You're holding on to me for dear life. Don't be frightened like that. Go tell my brothers that they are to go to Galilee, and that I'll meet them there." Meanwhile, the guards had scattered, but a few of them went into the city and told the high priest everything that had happened. They called a meeting of the religious leaders and came up with a plan. They took a large sum of money and gave it to the soldiers, bribing them to say, "His disciples came in the night and stole the body while we were sleeping." They assured them, "If the governor hears about your sleeping on duty, we will make sure you don't get blamed." The soldiers took the bribe and did as they were told. That story, cooked up in the Jewish High Council, is still going around. The Gospel of the Lord.
Reflections on the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 28, verses 8 to 15. We begin the Octave of Easter. Throughout the week, the liturgy of the Word focuses on the appearances of Jesus to his disciples in the most varied forms. In today's Gospel passage, Jesus appears to women who return scared but happy from the empty tomb. They were the first to notice the episode of the resurrection. Therefore, they ran to break the news to the other disciples when Jesus himself approached them. Although they are scared, the first words of Jesus is to rejoice. The resurrection is the greatest of all joys. This experience is also directed to us today. And the second message of Jesus to the women: do not be afraid. Go tell my brothers to go to Galilee. They will see me there. The theme of fear is recurrent in the hours following the crucifixion and even in the resurrection scenes. The risen Jesus called his former deserters his brothers. That was the first and only time in the whole gospel narrative that Jesus referred to the disciples in that intimate way. Matthew invites his readers into the new nature of the relationship between Jesus and all those who would become his followers. With Jesus, they could now share the risen life as sons and daughters of God and brothers and sisters of Jesus. The risen Jesus has no enemies. His redemptive response to the sin of the world was forgiveness. Jesus had learned perfectly the heart of his Father. His love excluded no one. While Jesus was on the cross dying, the chief priests had taunted him by saying, "Let him come down from the cross now, and we will believe him." Confronted now with the mystery of the resurrection, they still refused to believe. What the chief priests asked of the guards to declare was not logical. If the guards were asleep while the body of Jesus disappeared, how would they know it was the disciples of the dead man who came to steal the body? If they were asleep, they wouldn't know how the sealed tomb got breached and how did the body disappear. And if they were awake, the forces that breached the tomb was beyond the control of the guards to stop them. If we believe in everything we celebrate these days, it is time to go out to meet our brothers and sisters and tell them that we too have met the risen Jesus and that he is alive in our midst. For this, it is necessary that we go to the Galilee of our times, and there we discover the suffering faces that need the good news of the resurrection.